Going back to fear, so are you completely fearless, or is there, do you have some level of fear every time you make an investment?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm not fearless. Neither are you, neither is anybody. And anybody who ever told you that they are, I would say, really? There is some delusion out there, I guess. There's a great line about courage. This is kind of a cliche, and I won't reproduce it perfectly, but courage isn't that you don't feel fear. It's that you go forward feeling the same fear that anybody else would. And so heroes, whether they're military, right down to something as simple as investing. You as an investor, we have so many heroes among our members. Like, it's pretty heroic to even invest. You have to take what you've worked toward, that you've saved, as opposed to spending in a spending-rich environment where everybody's always telling you to spend your money. That's pretty heroic just to save. And then to take what you've saved and put it in something else outside you that's going to go up or down. I mean, that is a heroic effort. None of us does so fearlessly. And even when you put it in a stock that you feel like you don't know that well, you're going to feel fear again all the way through the process. So maybe a little bit of a digression, but what I want to say is no one proceeds fearlessly, but you have to lean in if you take our approach and be intellectually curious and find things that you think might do well the next 5 or 10 years.
Right. One last question about fear, and then we'll move on to...
I'll try to do better with this one than I did with the last one, by the way. I think I lost my thread a little bit there, but...
Very insightful. We're talking about fear that some investors have when looking at complex industries like biotech. But some investors aren't investors at all because they're too scared to take control of their own finances. So they'll give their money to someone to manage it for them. Mm-hmm. Why are a lot of people scared to manage their own money? And what do you think the Motley Fool is doing better today than it did in the past to encourage more people to invest?
Those are two good questions and somewhat different. I'm going to definitely start with the first one. And why is there fear out there? I think there's fear out there because there wasn't education in the first place, and so there be dragons, and there isn't a perceived source of good education today. On the one hand, you think if you really want to learn business, I guess you think you have to go to business school. Some people just start businesses and are entrepreneurial, but that's a real minority. So I think people figure, like, if there weren't business schools, there'd be even more fear about what business is. There aren't investing schools. I mean, I guess there are a couple, and you can take an investing course at business school, but, where is the school to invest? I think it's online, and I think it's at fool.com, but even at our website, we don't have formal curriculum, and we haven't organized ourselves yet to help you go to school, the school of investing. As a consequence, the sad irony, you have an incredibly important subject, money. And you have a mass populace that largely doesn't have education about one of the most important subjects of the rest of their lives. And so that's the sad irony of where we are. But the good news is that there are all kinds of resources out there if you just start. I think for what we do at The Fool, now to get to The Fool, I think we switch people on. I think a lot of people, it's not cool to even think about money in college or high school, and then talk stocks feels like not me for most of us. But the reality is, once you start to realize that investing is as simple as thinking, oh, I go to Lululemon, I might as well buy a share. Or everything from Twitter IPOs to Facebook IPOs to Chipotle, you could own, or Starbucks, you could own it as you drink it or eat it. You start to realize, when you look at it that way, we all should be doing it. If you're going to spend your money there anyway, why not be paying yourself back some? And it doesn't have to be complex, and it doesn't even have to be biotech. So I think that making it clear, as The Fool continues to switch on more and more people to how easy it is, and then how much it matters. How many people have come up to Tom or me at a book signing that we've done over the years of The Fool and say, I'm finally getting started, I'm 50. So I know I'm coming back, I'm making up for lost time here, but now I get it. And now I need to do it, and I want to retire, I want to be financially independent, I want to be able to make my own choices the last 50 years of my life. And, we love it when those conversations happen with 15-year-olds. We're happy to have it with 70-year-olds. But I think the more, I think it starts with your parents or your kids. I think in families, if people who really get it, who are on our site early, their parents kind of asked them some important questions early, and they were thinking ahead. So I'm not going to be any more digressive than I already have with that one. It's a really good couple of questions, and I think we at The Fool have a real role to play, and I think we need to really up our game too.